So we are going to fast forward a little bit to the fall, September 1st, 1991. By this point, the headmaster of the School of Ilvermorny sends you a letter, Felix, personally apologizing for a misunderstanding that had taken place with your letter. Um, it seems that you were meant to get this letter all along, but for whatever reason, something there was some miscommunications, misunderstanding, and they are quickly trying to right the mistake immediately by formally inviting you to the School of Ilvermorny as a first year that fall.
This, considering that September 1st is his birthday, this is probably one of his happiest birthdays ever.
Cool. Awesome. So we are going to just fast forward a little bit on September 1st, 1991. And you are going to be making your way to Boston to go to, or Massachusetts. The school is close to Boston, to arrive at the School of Ilvermorny. And while you are, once you arrive at the school, just to give you viewers out there, especially, an explanation. So the Ilvermorny Castle is on top of the highest peak of Mount Greylock in the Berkshires of western Massachusetts. Beautiful structure, newer than Hogwarts. You will be taken into the entrance hall of the school all of the first years. And at the entrance hall, surrounding the hall, are the statues of the mascots of the four houses.
Yes.
While you guys are gathered there, you can overhear some of the gossip that's going on amongst the students. And you overhear a few kids gossiping about Harry Potter, because a lot of people are saying that the boy who lived, they heard, was actually starting his first year at Hogwarts at this exact same time. I'm sure that Henry has told you about Harry Potter,
The boy who lived.
so this might be really interesting. And one of them will probably like just ask, what do you think? Do you think the rumors are true? Do you think Harry Potter is actually going to this school at the same time as we are?
Well, well, the ages align up, so probably yes.
That's so cool. I kind of wish I went to Hogwarts so I could meet him.
I'm I'm just excited to be here.
At this point, several of the professors will gather around and tell all of the first years to settle down, and they will introduce you to the headmaster of Ilvermorny, a gentleman by the name of Headmaster Algebert Fontaine. You presume this is the gentleman who sent you that letter apologizing. I should point out that the handwriting of the apology letter from the headmaster is different from the letter that Henry had received telling him that you were not accepted into the school.
Gotcha.
So that is the headmaster. You also see Chogun there as well. He is dressed in the Ilvermorny colors. He's in a uniform that suggests him to be the healer of the schools, a lot like Madame Pomfrey was. And Headmaster Algebert Fontaine will say, welcome to Ilvermorny Wizarding School First years, we are very excited to have you. This is going to be an excellent year, and I look forward to meeting each and every one of you. One of the first things that we need to go over, and he'll start, giving his spiel. Eventually, though, he will start talking about the sorting ceremony. Allow me to explain to you the 4 houses of Ilvermorny. Starting with the horned serpent, sometimes considered to represent the mind of a witch or wizard. It is also said that the horned serpent favors scholars. The founder of the horned serpent house is Isolde Sayer herself. One of the things that he would have explained to you before he reached the houses is he would have spent time to briefly explain to the students the story of how Ilvermorny came to be, which is a really interesting story.
I read it. It's very interesting.
I'm not gonna say it now because anyone can read it.
Yeah, and it's pretty long.
Yes, it's a pretty long story, and the headmaster only gives an abridged version of it. But anyone who's watching who really wants to know the story of how Ilvermorny came to be and who all of these founders were, you can definitely read it on Pottermore or Wikipedia's all over the internet. So, but he will say the founder was Isolde Sayer herself. The House of the Wampus, sometimes considered to represent the body of a witch or wizard. It is also said that Wampus favors warriors. Its founder is Webster Boot. Then we come to the Thunderbird, sometimes considered to represent the soul of a witch or wizard. It is also said that the Thunderbird favors adventurers. Its founder was Chadwick Boot. And lastly, Pukwudgie, sometimes considered to represent the heart of a witch or wizard. It is also said that Pukwudgie favors healers. Its founder is James Stewart, who, if you remember from the story, was a Nomad founder. And several of the students who may not have caught that the first time were like, "Oh, interesting, a Nomad. That's right, Nomad helped found this school." And he will say, "Now that I have explained to you the 4 houses here at Ilvermorny, we shall begin the sorting." And so all of these students who are dressed in their blue uniforms, one by one, the students each step onto a Gordian knot on the floor in the center of the entrance hall, and there are large wooden statues of the 4 mascots facing them. And the carved statues react if they want the student in their house. The older students watch in silence from a circular balcony on a floor above them as the new students are sorted, and the carvings will react in different ways. The crystal in the horned serpent carving's forehead glows, the wampus carving roars, the thunderbird carving beats its wings, and the Pukwudgie carving raises its arrow. Each of the children before you starts getting sorted one by one, and finally we reach Felix's turn to step onto the Gordian knot. Describe how Felix does this as he's about to be sorted.
He takes several deeps of breath. He is looking massively nervous. His biggest he just keeps imagining the worst case scenario where none of the statues react to him. And he briefly looks over at Shogun briefly before forming himself and nodding and stepping forward into the center.
All right. You will step forward in the center, and you will wait for a gut-wrenching length of time. It's probably no longer than any of the other kids before you, but to you it might have taken forever. And go
A
ahead.
lifetime practically in his head.
But finally, the wooden carving of the horned serpent's forehead begins to glow. The crystal begins to glow.
He just smiles. As it, and he just, his shoulders lax, and he just smiles and laughs as he feels so relieved.
You might look towards Chogon, and he will smile back at you, and he will applaud as well.
I nod back in. Felix is kind of giddy, but he's trying to resist making a spectacle of himself, so he quickly gets out of gear because he's a bit nervous about all the attention on him right at the moment. He probably waits there a bit too long after being sorted, so he quickly steps away after he knows he's been taking too long.
The rest of the sorting ceremony occurs, and you officially begin your first year at Ilvermorny. Now, things at Ilvermorny school is a little challenging because you realize very quickly that casting spells is not quite your forte.
No.
I would say that one of the earlier memories that you have was with a friend that you end up making while you're at Ilvermorny, a girl by the name of Penelope Pickery. If Pickery sounds familiar to anyone who's watching, it should, if any of you have watched Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. In fact, one of the best known students, one of the most well-known or notable students who actually was sorted into the Horned Serpent house was Seraphina Pickery. Do you remember who Seraphina Pickery is? Have you seen the movie?
I saw the first movie, and it's been a while, so...
She was in the first movie. Yeah. If you want to take a peek at Seraphina Pickery, if you want to Google her right now, you probably will recognize her as soon as you see her.
Oh, yes. I remember now.
You know who she is? Okay. So, you know that Penelope is the granddaughter of Seraphina Pickery. We're going to say that you are at the library, Felix, because you are working on a homework assignment. You're trying to practice one of the basic spells. Some of the basic spells that were being taught to you in one of your classes, but you're not quite getting it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have your wand, and I'm going to say that somebody ends up sneaking behind you and gives you a tap on the shoulder.
I quickly turn around in surprise.
Relax, Felix, it's just me. And you turn around and you see Penelope Pickery there.
Oh.
Practicing, I see?
Yeah, yes, Penelope.
What spell are you working on?
Wingardium Leviosa.
Oh, that was one of my favorites. I only just started figuring out how to do it myself. Well, how far have you gotten?
Wingardium Leviosa.
You pointed over at a feather, and the feather doesn't seem to have budged. Try it again?
Wingardium Leviosa.
Maybe it needs some encouragement. Or maybe the feather is just defective?
Wingardium Leviosa.
Okay. Let's try this. How about, maybe you gotta stretch first. I hear that, stretching might help. Warm up. Warm up. That's right.
Oh,
Maybe not with this wand, she says. Put the wand down. And just, stretch.
right.
All right. And then just deep breaths in, deep breaths out, deep breaths in, deep breaths out. All right. She goes over and takes the wand and she hands it to you again. Try it again.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Okay, maybe you're too relaxed. Maybe if you focused a little more and weren't too relaxed.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Maybe do it in a way that makes me believe. Make it believe that it's going to fly.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Maybe a little bit of anger in it too?
Wingardium Leviosa.
When you do Wingardium Leviosa, a spark zaps out of your wand and it strikes the table, and the feather goes up in flames, which is not what you were trying to do at all. And the feather goes up in flames and it starts to scorch the table. And Penelope goes, "Oh, okay, maybe too much anger,
God
she says.
darn it.
I don't know how to extinguish. Haven't learned the extinguish spell yet.
Felix just kind of just tries to he's going to look around and see if he can find a vase of flowers and pour the water on it.
Sure, I'm gonna say you can. I will say that there's conveniently a vase of flowers nearby, and you'll grab it and you'll pour it onto the desk to stop the fire. The fire, fortunately, does get put out. Unfortunately, there is a big scorch mark on the table, and I will let you decide what the scorch mark looks like. Sort of like if you're looking at the clouds and you're wondering what the cloud's shape was like. It's not like, I wouldn't say it's like an actual image, but more like a shape that if you were forced to ask what did that shape look like, what does it look like if you were forced to interpret what the shape was? Just so I know.
If it was forced, I think a weirdly shaped squid.
A weirdly shaped squid scorch mark on that desk. Okay, I love it. So I'm gonna say that Penelope tilts her head a little bit and says, "Huh. Well, at least you made a interesting mark on the desk. That looks kind of like a squid, don't you think?"
I don't want calamari.
What's calamari?
It's fried octopus or squid. It is either one of those.
Why would anyone want to eat that?
It's pretty good.
Really?
You've never had calamari before.
I didn't even know what it was until you said that. I thought, is that a new spell they didn't teach us?
No, it's a food.
You said it's a squid or an octopus?
Yeah, it's fried. It's usually a lot smaller than what you usually expected.
I can't imagine anyone who in their right mind looked at a squid and thought, you know what? That looks delicious. I'm gonna deep fry it. Well, I guess if you deep fry anything will taste good.
Well, a lot of things do taste good deep fried. Shrimp. I love deep fried shrimp. It's great.
I'll take your word for it, she says as she nods.
You would have sing a different tune if you lived down in New Orleans.
Well, she says, do they have Birdie Bot's factory there? I'm gonna say no.
No.
Oh. Alright. Well, I'm sure there must be something interesting in New Orleans other than Katamari.
Calamari, and there's a lot of good things. There's beignets; those are really good.
What's a beignet?
Oh, it's very it's this powdered pastry that's covered in powdered sugar, usually with chocolate milk. It's very good.
Now that's more my style. Now you're singing my tune, Felix Underwood.
Felix laughs a little, but looks down at the scorch mat. I'm going to get in so much trouble for this.
Well, she says, I mean, this is one of the back desks, so to be honest, I feel like nobody's really gonna notice it. And until they do, they can't pin it on us. Heck, if they find us here right now, we'll just tell them it was there when we came. So I bet you no one will even.
That is a good point. And Felix immediately picks up all this stuff up, clears off tries to pick up any remain items that showed that he was here, and nods to Penelope. I'm going to get out of here.
I think that's a good idea. And she will take up her books, and you guys will walk out of the library. And as you're making your way out the library, she'll say, so, other than your spells class, how are your other classes coming along?
Well, I do very well. I think I'm doing pretty well. I just need to memorize everything I learn and write down everything I can. It's going well.
What are some spells that you've managed to pick up?
Felix is just silent. None.
None? That can't be right. What do you mean none?
No matter how much I try, it's just not working. It's different than what I usually do.
She sort of frowns a little bit, not in like disappointment, but more in like worry. And she says, have you been doing all the homework? Have you been practicing?
Yeah, I practice. I do all the homework that I can do.
And just nothing really happens? Well, so what I'm envisioning is sometimes, most of the time, nothing happens, but other times, like, stuff will happen, but it's totally not what you intended for it to happen. Like, again, like Seamus Finnegan, how he's always like trying to cast a spell and it blows up in his face. Like that's pretty much the same thing. So
kind of, but he never. But unlike Seamus, he will never actually succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just nothing happens or something will happen, but it's completely wrong.
Like it backfires.
Yes.
Oh, that's frustrating.
It's not like what I can do well, but I don't know why spells are so hard for me.
She looks very bothered right now and very uncomfortable, and you can tell that Penelope wants to say something to you, but she doesn't seem like she's you as observant as a person as you are. You gather she wants to say something to you, but she's not sure if she should.
What?
Huh? What do you mean what?
What is it?
I have no idea what you're talking about, she says. And she's like giggles a bit. She always giggles when she's lying.
I know something's up. You want to say something. What is it?
Felix, I didn't want to bring this up, but some of the kids, they can get really mean. And I just overhear them talk sometimes about you, and I always yell at them when I hear them, but they don't seem to care. I guess just because of my grandmother, they don't really like take me too seriously.
What is it? What do they say?
They they keep calling you Felix the fraud. They say that you're a squib that somehow talked the headmaster into getting you into this school. It's all really dumb and stupid things. A bunch of them kept calling you a squib this one time,
I'm
and I definitely like told them off and said Felix is not a squib. He's a wizard just like you and I. He's a wizard and witch just like you and me. It just is taking a while for him to figure everything out.
I am I am not a squib. I know this for a fact. I can do things that no magic could ever do. I know I am a wizard.
That's what I think too. But I'm just warning you, a lot of the. If you hear anything, pay no mind to it. They're just being really dumb.
Yeah, just being dumb. And Felix will be silent for a while.
You'll remain silent for a while, and you will start to get a little dizzy. And when you feel a little dizzy, you start to see things materialize in front of you in color once again, in vibrant color. And you see a vision of yourself running down the hallway, because you're out in the halls right now. And you find yourself walking over to a part of the stone floor in the hallway, and you see you lift up what appears to be a loose stone on the stone floor of this hallway, and you take a parchment out of your pocket and you put the parchment inside the loose stone and you cover the loose stone. You cover it back on the floor, and then you look around just to make sure nobody saw what you did, and then you scoot off. Then you see another vision, again on the same hallway, and you can see 4 students. But the weird thing is, none of these 4 students are wearing the Ilvermorny uniform. There's one student, a girl, who's dressed in purple. There's another student, a boy, who's dressed in this green-looking uniform. There's a third one, a boy, relatively shorter than the first boy, in orange clothing. And then the last student seems to be this Asian male in yellow robes. And you see them walking together down this hallway, the 4 of them side by side. And all of a sudden, pick one of the 4. Any 4 that you want, Jojo. One of those 4 students. The girl in purple, the guy in green, the guy in orange, or the Asian in yellow. Pick any of those 4.
I pick the guy in orange.
The guy in orange will actually be walking with this 4, and they are going to pass through the spot where you saw yourself put something into the floor. And the guy in orange trips over this loose stone on the floor, and eventually the 4 uncover the loose stone, and they find the parchment that was placed there. And then the vision goes away.
Felix will just stop and think about this for a second. Just wonder, who are they? Hey, Penelope?
Huh? What? Penelope says.
What? This is going to be an odd question, but what other schools are out? Wizarding schools are out there?
Well, there's a lot of other schools. I mean, well, you know about Hogwarts, I'm sure.
Yeah.
There's Castle Bruxo in Brazil. There's Bobatons in France. There's Durmstrang in Bulgaria. There's Koldovstorets in Russia. Mahokotoro. Oh yeah, the Asian school, Mahokotoro.
Yeah.
And then in Africa, I think it's Ouagadougou. Ouagadougou.
Huh. Uh, Sorry, I saw something weird. Never mind. And Felix is
Oh
just,
wait! You saw something weird, Felix. I told you my secret. Now you have to tell me yours.
Penelope. I see things. I get visions.
You mean like you can see invisible things?
Not quite. I Do you know what a seer is?
Well, yeah. Seers don't they like see in the future? Can you look into the future?
Yes, that's what I can do.
Oh man, Felix, that is so cool.
Yeah, and here, okay, shh. Okay, Penelope, something I I saw myself leaving a message under a tile.
Under a tile.
Yeah,
What tile?
that tile right there.
Really? She walks over to that tile. And she goes over and she tries to pull it loose, and nothing. It's not budging. Huh? She says, "Well, that's strange."
I don't know. I think I was older in it. Anyways, the vision changed, and sometime later, these four students dressed in different uniforms came by, tripped over the tile, and saw the message.
4 students,
Yeah,
and they weren't dressed like us.
no, they were in different uniforms, all of them.
That's weird.
Yeah,
They weren't trying to attack the castle, were they?
no, they were just walking. Maybe they were visitors or exchange students.
Huh?
Weird.
And this happened after you put something on the ground.
Sometime later, I don't know how long. What I'm wondering is why I would leave a message, and I think I'm supposed to leave a message for them, but I don't know what I'm supposed to leave.
Well, that's not very helpful. If
No,
you can see yourself doing things in the future, but you don't know what exactly you do in the future,
no. Maybe it'll make sense later.
why would you? I guess I don't understand why you would leave a message to. You didn't recognize any of those 4 students, did you?
No, no.
So, when you get these visions, you can't exactly tell when they're supposed to happen.
I could tell that I was a bit older.
So maybe sometime later
Yeah,
you will figure out what the heck you're supposed to write to these 4 random kids.
yeah. We'll figure that out. I'll fig I'll figure that out.
That is crazy weird.
It's really weird. It sometimes yes, but it's often very helpful. And it
So here's a stupid question. What do you think would happen if you don't put that message in the floor?
I'm not sure, but if I saw it, I'm pretty sure it was very important.
When you see these visions, are you sure these visions are telling you what you're supposed to do?
I think they're telling me something. They're not. Maybe not. I think they're telling me something important. These visions always tell me something important.
So you putting something on the ground is important.
Yes.
So, but you're not sure if you're supposed to do this important thing.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. I can sometime one time whenever I see a vision, it doesn't have to happen the way I see it. But but the vision is always important. And
Hmm.
whatever this message is, it's probably really important for me to he skidded this far ahead of time.
What's the craziest vision you've ever seen?
Out of character, I'm not sure how to answer this, because there may have been crazier stuff.
Make something up.
I saw a burning house once.
Wow. And did it happen? Or did you do something to stop it?
I don't know. I didn't recognize the house.
So you saw a burning house, but you never realized where this burning house was or anything?
No.
Wow, that's kind of crazy. Yeah. I was hoping for something a little funnier.
Sorry.
But burning house isn't really that.
Sorry.
Your visions can get really morbid sometimes.
Oh, yes, they're supposed to be important, I think. Not much time for comedy, but they can be very weird.
So you don't recognize this burning house at all?
No.
Hmm.
I didn't recognize the kids, the students either. But they must be important. I'm gonna need to think about this.
All right. Now that you've got this in my head, it's going to be tough for me to fall asleep tonight because I'm going to be thinking about these random kids that are for some reason walking around their school.
I don't know. There was an orange one, a purple one, a yellow one, and a green one.
And they were wearing school uniforms?
I think they were school uniforms.
Well, the green one, I know that Castle Brushu has green uniforms, and I know that Koldovstorets has purple uniforms. Orange, I think, is Wagadu. I can't think of any school that has a yellow uniform, though.
Wait, I think the kid was. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, it's nothing. Probably nothing.
All right. Well.
Well, could it have been Mahokoto? How do you pronounce that again?
Mahotokoro or Mahokotoro?
Yeah.
I couldn't really pronounce that one very well either. Mahokotoro, I think.
Yeah. I'll need to look this up.
Felix, did you just say that because the kid was Asian?
I really didn't want to admit that.
Felix, you didn't just...
I know. It's dumb. It was really dumb.
Different types of people go to different types of schools, you know.
I am aware, and I realized it was stupid the second I thought of it.
Felix, you are so insensitive. She sort of chuckles a little bit, and she gives you a playful shove.
I'll need to double check though. So, Felix is racist.
Well, you'll as you're walking by, you'll see a pukwudgie is sort of observing you, and you recognize this pukwudgie as the pukwudgie that everyone calls William.
I am aware of William.
You're aware of William. William sort of sneers at your direction, and he says, "You all sound like you're having a lot of fun over something randomly in the hallway."
Hello, William.
Underwood, right?
Yes.
And Miss Pickery. Hello, William. How's your day today? Boring. Just like yesterday, and the day before, and the day before that.
Do you like boring?
It's boring. No, I don't like boring.
Well, I hope things get a little less boring for you soon.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, you said you didn't like it boring.
I did. He sort of eyes you again, looks right into your eyes, as if to challenge you.
Felix just stares back. Felix does not back down from staring contests.
at eventually William will look away just because it seems like he was bored of staring at you. And he says, "Shouldn't you students be going to class? Not that I care."
Oh, yes. Felix quickly looks at the clock to see if he's running late.
Well, don't get all hysterical. I'm not a prefect.
Good day, William. Thank you for reminding me.
Yes, yes. Good day. Good day. And he will start to hobble off.
All right.
Do you like William?
I'm think that he's one of the. I think Felix would like William. He probably heard the stories, and he likes to imagine that it's the same William.
I kind of picture William as sort of like the Oscar the Grouch character.
Yeah,
where he's always grumpy.
I think that William was one of his favorite characters as a kid, so let's imagine it's the same William.
Right. Yeah, he's always grouchy, he's always grumpy, and he always seems to like not want to be around people, but for whatever reason, he's always around people. So he's got that Oscar the Grouch kind of feel, is what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Penelope asked you, do you like William?
Yeah, I like William. I remember all the story. I remember the stories as a kid when I was younger.
Do you think he's the William?
I like to think so. It would be fun to think so.
If he was, he'd be pretty darn old.
Oh yeah. Now, do we really know how long Puckwudgies live?
I have no idea.
Could be then.
If he is the William, then I'm wondering if we can ask him about, what it was like back then.
Huh. I get the feeling that he's not going to be very forthcoming.
Yeah, I can see that. Maybe we can coerce it out of him. Do you know what's his favorite, I don't know, food or sweet? Does he like sweets? Maybe there's a pastry or a cake he likes.
Maybe he'll like beignets.
Better that than that calamari thing you were talking about earlier.
Calamari.
Whatever. It's a gross, slimy, tentacly looking thing that I would not let go anywhere near my mouth.
I prefer fried shrimp anyways.
Fair enough. And she'll laugh as you guys walk down the hallway.
Right.
And we will cut that scene right there.
All right.
Great.